The witch had a cat and a very tall hat and long ginger hair, which she wore in a plait. How the cat purred and how the witch grinned as they sat on the broomstick and flew through the wind.
Down at the vet's, there were all kinds of pets, with troubles and woes, from their ears to their toes. Sniffles and snuffles and doses of flu, itches and stitches and tummy ache too. So many animals, watchful and wary, and Harry McClary from Donaldson's Dairy.
I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey, E-oh, and he only had 3 legs. He was a wonky donkey.
Once there were 3 owls, Sarah and Percy and Bill. They lived in a hole in the trunk of a tree with their owl mother. The hole had twigs and leaves and owl feathers in it. It was their house. One night they woke up and their owl mother was gone. "Where's Mummy?" asked Sarah. "Oh my goodness," said Percy. "I want my mummy," said Bill. The baby owls thought. All owls think a lot. "I think she's gone hunting," said Sarah. "To get us our food," said Percy. "I want my mummy," said Bill. But the owl mother didn't come. The baby owls came out of their house and they sat on the tree and waited.
Once upon a time there were 2 bears, Big Bear and Little Bear. Big Bear is a big bear and Little Bear is a little bear. They played all day in the bright sunlight. When night came and the sun went down, Big Bear
I've lost my mum. Hush, little monkey, don't you cry. I'll help you find her, said Butterfly. Let's have a think. How big is she? She's big, said the monkey. Bigger than me. Bigger than you? Then I've seen your mum. Come, little monkey. Come, come, come.
These 2 very old people are father and mother of Mr. Bucket. Their names are Grandpa Joe and Grandma Josephine. And these 2 very old people are the father and mother of Mrs. Bucket.
Dark is exciting. Plop was a baby barn owl, and he lived with his mummy and daddy at the top of a very tall tree in a field. Plop was fat and fluffy. He had a beautiful heart-shaped ruff. He had enormous round eyes. He had very knackety knees. In fact, he was exactly the same as every baby barn owl that has ever been, except for one thing. Plop was afraid of the dark.
George was a giant, the scruffiest giant in town. He always wore the same pair of old brown sandals and the same old patched up gown. "I wish I wasn't the scruffiest giant in town," he said sadly.
"Where's Papa going with the axe?" said Fern to her mother as they were setting the table for breakfast. "Out to the hog house," replied Mrs. Arabelle. "Some pigs were born last night." "I don't see why he needs an axe," continued Fern, who was only 8. "Well," said Mother, "one of the pigs is a runt. It's very small and weak, and it will never amount to anything, so your father has decided to do away with it." "Do away with it!" shrieked Fern. "You mean kill it, just because it's smaller than the others?" Mrs. Arabelle put a pitcher of cream on the table. "Don't yell, Fern," she said. "Your father is right. The pig would probably die anyway."
A long way out, in a deep blue sea, there lived a fish, not just an ordinary fish, but the most beautiful fish in the entire ocean.
One warm spring day, a proud mother duck sat in her nest on the bank of a river. In the nest, under her soft warm body, lay 5 eggs. 4 of the eggs were all the same size and colour, but the 5th egg was much bigger and paler in colour than the other 4. This did not worry the mother duck, as she sat patiently waiting for the eggs to hatch.
A moose took a dander ben the wood. A tod saw the moose, and the moose looked good. Far are ye gone tae, wee brown moose? Come eat wi' me in my underground hoose.
Mrs. Twit waited until Mr. Twit had eaten the whole plateful. Then she said, "You want to know why your spaghetti was squishy?" Mr. Twit wiped the tomato sauce from his beard with a corner of the tablecloth. "Why?" he said. "And why had such a nasty bitter taste?" "Why?" he said. "'Cause it was worms!" cried Mrs. Twit, clapping her hands and stamping her feet on the floor and rocking with horrible laughter.
I wrote to the zoo to send me a pet, so they sent me an elephant, but he was too big, so I sent him back.
Do you see the thick, dark wood over there, backing onto the lane at the bottom of the garden? Yes, said Rick. It seems quite ordinary to me, except the leaves of the trees seem darker green than usual. Well, listen, Rick. That's the enchanted wood, said Beth.
Sometimes perfectly nice parents have children who are monsters. Meet the Meeks. This is father, Mr. Morris Meek, as his name suggests. Mr. Meek is a mild-mannered man. He likes to wear socks with his sandals and would not dare to eat a peach in public. Mr. Meek works as a librarian. He loves libraries, as they are quiet like him. This is a man who wouldn't say boo to a goose, or indeed any species of bird.